In this video, we're going to look at multiplying 2-digit and 3-digit numbers. Now, I have a quite fun method and it's very reliable as well. So let's see what you think about it. If we were given a question like 23 times by 35, here's what I would recommend. Write the first one on top of the second one, like so. That makes my method a lot easier. Now we're going to do step-by-step multiplication method. It's similar to the grid method you may have heard, but simply without the grid, basically. Let's go. You do the right number times by the right number. So the 5 times by the 3 first of all. 5 times by 3 is 15. And we write the second number down here. So we have got 15 and we're going to write the 5 down here. Now I can hear you ask, where do we put the 1 though? We put the 1 right above the next number. So the next number along is the 2, so we write the 1 on top of that 2. That's just to remind us to add it on later. It's a bit like with the 15, we've picked out the 5, the units, and we've placed the tens, the 1, with the tens next to the 2. Let's try the next one. Now we're going to multiply the 5 again by the 2. So we've done 5 times 3 and now 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10, then we add that little 1. Don't forget we carried over a 10 from the previous question. So 5 times by 2 is 10, add the 1 and it's 11. You may wonder, why did I write the 11 down here when last time I just got the unit, the 1, and then the 10 over the next number? Well, here there was not a next number to put it on top of, so I just put the 11 down here, and we're done for that row. The next row, you need to remember we have a 0. The reason is because this is not 3 times by 3 anymore, it's 30 times by 3. So we always add in a 0 on the second row. The third row would have 2 zeros, the fourth row 3 zeros, etc. But we'll practice that later. For now, let's just go back to this question. Let's cross out that little 1 as well, because that was a leftover. That was rubbish from last night's party. We just want to get rid of that. We've got a new party tonight. We're going to do 3 times by 3, which is 9. This time we didn't have a number we needed to carry over, so we can just write 9. Then we have 3 times by 2, which is 6. Again, we don't have another number, so it's just 6. The last step is to add those two numbers up, and we get 5 plus 0, which is 5. 9 plus 1 is 10, so we can't write 10 down here, but we write the 0 down here and the 1 above the next digit. So we write the 1 up here. We got 9 plus 1 is 10. We put the 0 down here and we put the little 1 up here. 6 plus 1 is 8. So our answer is 805. Let's do a 2-digit number multiplied by a 3-digit number. For example, 56 multiplied by 134. Again, if we write them one on top of the other, so 56 and multiplied by 134, and then right beneath each other like so. Let's get started. What's our first multiplication? Our first multiplication would be the right times by the right. So that's 6 times by 4. 6 times by 4 is 24. So we put the 4 down here, and what do we do with the 2? We put it above the next number. Next, what do? we would do the 4 times by the 5. So we keep doing that 4 until we've used it all up. 4 times 6, then 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20, but then don't forget to add the 2. 4 times 5 is 20, add the 2 is 22. And we can write 22 down here because there's no other number to put it on top of. So we wouldn't write the 2 down here and the 20 up here somewhere because there's no number to put it on. So we just write 22 down here and we're done with that row. The next row has a 0 as always because it's now 30 multiplied by the rest of it, not just 3. We're going to cross out our number from our party last night, cross out that 2. Now it's 3 times by 6. 3 times by 6 is 18. We put the 8 down here and the 1 above the 5. We do 3 times 5 is 15 and then add the 1 is 16. So we can write 16. Notice also how I'm writing the digits nice and neatly in columns. So the units are here, the tens in a nice neat column and the hundreds in a nice neat column. Finally, the 1, which is 100. Let's cross out the little numbers from our previous part, and because it's 100, not just a 1, we add 2 zeros at the end of this row. So a 0 and a 0. Now we're ready for our calculations. 1 times 6 is 6, and 1 times 5 is indeed 5. We're ready now to add up all our totals. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 2 is 10. And notice how easy it becomes when they're all nice and neat. 8 and 2 is 10, so we put the 0 down here and the 1 above the next number in the next column. 6 plus 6 is 12 and 2 is 14. Add 1 is 15. Put the 5 down here and the 1 in the next column. 5 and 1 and 1 is 7. So our answer to 56 times by 134 is 7,504. Last one, a 3-digit times a 3-digit. This time I'm going to go a bit faster because I think you get the gist. But we're going to show just how cool and quick this method can be, even with seemingly impossible calculations. Let's write them one on top of the other. Are you ready? We're going to rev up the engine. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Okay, 2 times 3, 6. 2 times 7, 14. 4 goes down here, 1 goes above. 2 times 8 is 16. Add the 1 is 17. Next row always begins with a 0. So we place a 0 at the front. Now we're going to first cross out our numbers from before so we're not confused. 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. We put the 8 down here and the 1 above the next column. 6 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42. Add the 1 becomes 43. We put the 3 down here and the 4 above the next column. Finally, 6 times 8 is 48. Don't forget to add the 4. 48 plus 4 is 52. So we write the 52 down here. Our final row, we're now dealing with 900. So it's not just 9, we need to add 2 zeros. Let's cross out the numbers from our previous calculation, the 4 and the 1. Now 9 times 3 is 27. Put the 7 down here and the 2 above the next column. 9 times 7 is 63. Add the 2 is 65. Put the 5 down there and the 6 above the next column. And finally 9 times 8 is 72. Add the 6 and it's 78. Let's add these all up. Can you believe we've done that calculation that quickly? 6 plus 0 is 6. 8 plus 4 is 12. Put the 2 down here, the 1 above the next column. 7 plus 3 is 10. add a 7 and a 1 is 18. 8 down here, 1 above the next column. 1 plus 5 plus 2 is 9. 8 plus 5 is 13. Put the 3 down here, the 1 above the next column, and at last 7 plus 1 is 8. So our answer would be 839,826. Now you know the secret to multiplying any two numbers.